What's up, everybody? Welcome to Bingetown TV. We are back, and today we're here to talk about Amazon's The Boys presents Diabolical. Basically, this is an animated 8 episode series set in the same universe as The Boys. It was fun, it was funny, it was bloody, and it was just enough to make me absolutely crave season 3 of The Boys. How about you guys?
It
Hell
was
yeah.
it was entertaining, definitely. I mean, just the different styles of each episode, the different tones, the
Yeah.
different completely different vibes. You'll understand when you watch, but my goodness, it was exactly what you said, just enough to hold us over
Yeah.
for season 3.
Yeah. 8 episodes, 12 minutes each, easily digestible. Kathleen, you texted us that yesterday. So true. You can knock it right out. I don't see how you wouldn't knock it out in one sitting. We haven't had the boys in a while, and it feels good to have them back. Like
Yeah.
Kathleen said, and like Paul said, it makes you want season 3. It really makes you crave it. We didn't really expect this to be a thing. It wasn't really announced not too long ago. I think it was 2021 where it was announced, and it's a pleasant surprise. It was gory. It was super gory. I mean,
Yeah.
it's in the vein of Invincible, and that was pretty gory and everything, but this one had a lot of shit going on in it.
I loved it. It
Yeah.
was some episodes were just pure goofiness. Some were like actually had some drama and some
Messages.
real storyline
Yeah.
in it,
Yeah.
which I enjoyed a lot. So there was at least one in there for everybody.
I kept thinking about how much you guys would love it because of the like anime style and the different
Yeah.
anime styles. Like the Aquafina one was different than the Andy Samberg one. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like visually, it's like reminding me of different animes. I'm like, the boys are gonna fucking geek out about this.
It was really funny.
Anime freaks
Mhm,
love
mhm.
that.
Yeah, well, while we're
Um,
at it, let's just name the 8 episodes here. So we have episode 1, Laser Baby's Day Out. Episode 2 was an animated short where pissed off Supes killed their parents, and personally, that one was the one that made me laugh the most. I
It was
guess
good.
we'll talk about that in a second. Episode 3, I'm Your Pusher. This one was very interesting because this one was written by Garth Ennis, the person who wrote the actual comic. It was set inside the comic continuity. So let's pause right here and talk about how cool it is that we have our boy Petite Huey show up, but it's
Yeah.
not Jack Quaid. It's Simon Pegg. And
Mhm.
Simon Pegg plays Jack Quaid's father, Huey's father, in The Boys are the boys. But in the comics, the person who drew or came up with the concept art for Huey, Derek Robertson, used Simon
Yeah.
Pegg as his inspiration. So it's like a nice little turnaround. They actually were thinking about for a while using Simon Pegg as Huey, but the boys comic came out so long ago that Simon Pegg got a little too old for the part. So
Yeah.
it was really cool to see that.
That is incredible. I had no idea, but that was arguably my favorite episode.
That was
So
a good
that's
episode.
awesome that it is by the guy who actually wrote The Boys.
And I know they're all in the same universe and stuff, but it makes sense that I'm pretty sure when Jimmy gets to it, I'm pretty sure the 8th one is also written by the writers of the.
Well, no. So what
of the
I'm
show.
saying, I'm saying that episode 3 is written by the comic writer. That's the only one not in continuity. So
Oh,
yeah, that's that. So that's why you'll notice that in episode 3, Huey looks different. Every single soup is drawn like they would have looked in the comic. But they have their
Yeah.
original comic look. Everything else is in continuity pretty much. So what you were saying, Kathleen, is backwards, but it's true in the way that what you're saying is that all the other ones are continuity, and season 1, episode 8, 1 + 1 = 2. That was continuity just for the beginning of Homelander. So
Yeah.
let's get back to it really quick. Episode 4, Boyd in 3D, which I thought was a great message. Episode 5, BFFs, which was freaking crazy.
Yep.
Aquafina wrote that one. Season 1,
Of
episode
course.
6, Nubian versus Nubian, written by Aisha Tyler,
Who I love.
who we all love. Sterling Archer's girl. Come
Yeah,
on.
I love her.
I love her. I love her from Criminal Minds. I'm a
Yeah, I
Criminal
mean, she was
Minds
in
stan.
Friends. She's in so
Yeah.
much, but she's phenomenal
Mhm.
on Archer. Very, very, very good voice actress. Season 1, episode 7, John and Sun He tugged at the heartstrings. Andy Samberg. That was one that I saw the written by, and I was a little surprised. I was like, whoa, that was a nice little heartstring tug for Andy
Yeah.
Samberg. Season 1, episode 8, 1 + 1 = 2. So we might as well let you guys know this now. We're dropping this the day of, specifically because we were lucky enough to get screeners from Amazon So we've been sitting on these for a couple weeks. So we're so happy we could finally talk to you guys about them. We've seen them. They're amazing. And we had to hold our breaths for 2 weeks. But now we're here. Let's talk, guys. What do you want to talk about?
Let's just go in order, I guess. I mean, I don't think we'll have a whole lot for every episode.
We don't need to break anything down. We'll just say what we liked and we didn't like.
Starting with the first one was so funny because I watched the first one first, and I was like, well, when I said it, you said I didn't see it. Like when I was talking about how they weren't speaking.
Oh, I hadn't watched any yet.
Yeah, so I get what you were saying, Jimmy. You were like, oh, you watched the first one first and not the last episode.
Yeah, you said
first.
I watched the first episode first.
Jimmy's just being a smacked.
Anyway, I was like,
oh, that's what you're saying.
There's no
the
words.
First of the three of us. Okay.
She was the first one to watch.
Okay.
Fuck you. But also, yeah, I was like, well, the first episode has no words, so I feel that this will be a quick thing to talk about.
Yeah, and we were all blown away. We're like, what? We've seen the voice cast.
The voice cast is out of this world. So so what you're waiting for is just to be blown away by this voice cast. And literally, this is Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg wrote this one, and there is no words, just like you said.
Yeah, it's great. It's straight out of Looney Tunes. They called it Vought Tunes in the beginning.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the vibe just brought me back to like chilling at my grandparents watching Looney Tunes on the TV. So I think they nailed the style of it, and then nailed the Wile E. Coyote, like getting the anvil dropped on his head, like moving that into boys territory where it's just, gore everywhere.
Where the gore could be, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I'm slipping on the blood, like doing the whole, like slipping in the same place, except instead of marbles, it's the Stoots' intestines.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought it was funny.
The ball head villain.
Yeah,
the brain guy.
So that was my
ball head.
That was my one question.
The scrotum head.
Yeah, it's Boob Face's brother from
right.
But I actually wondered if that big dude with the big head actually was
in canon for the comics. I didn't have a chance to look that up, to be honest. I wanted an instant reaction for this, so I didn't really do any research. So I don't know, but yeah, he seemed like he was somebody that wasn't just made up. But he was, he kind of was like the prototypical, like, I'm the Martian with the big brain bad guy. But I don't know. Worked for me.
And, what I just got from this episode is maybe going forward, we're going to have some of these storylines coming out, like Supes, that aren't in the spotlight just because they do have these, shit superpowers. Or I'm mixing up episodes, but
that's a perfect segue into the next one if we're done, which is an animated short where pissed off Supes kill their parents. And the cool thing about The Boys is this universe, we're really isolated and siloed in this one story. This universe fucking rules, especially when you start to learn that it is they're genetically modified after they're born. Like, it's a decision to do by their parents. It's so fucked up. And this episode was perfect for that. Like, ranch dressing cum squirter absolutely sent me. This is a great episode. I was like,
I didn't take any notes on the lines that made me laugh because I know I'm going to watch it again and I'm trying to keep this instant reaction, but I was laughing a lot in these 12 minutes.
I lost it at Encante Balls when they just showed him walking around like with the wide legs because he doesn't want to burn his thighs.
Yeah.
And of course, the weird narrator. Yeah. His name's Paul. Of course, his name is Paul.
There he is. That's you, dude.
Well, the Boombox Head was another good one. Who Can Only Want to Be With You by Hootie and the Blowfish. And then ending the episode with that song, I was like, that's multiple times during this. The Dua in the Alana Glazer episode, which is the which episode is that? Boyd in 3D is the Elliot and Alana episode, who are siblings, but we'll get to it or whatever. But there's that levitating they play, and I was like, oh, like they deploy the music really well in this little series as well.
Yeah. Who would you be out of this group of shitty superpowers?
Bunch of misfits.
Might just be Papers.
Papers killed me, dude. Papers killed me.
What's the name of that voice actor? I should be shamed for not knowing this. Morty.
Yeah, it was Rick and Morty.
Justin Roiland.
Yeah, Justin Roiland. He did it. Yeah. And he played a few parts and helped write some of it too, I believe. But as soon as he walks in, I'm like, my gosh, I'm just sent right back to Rick and Morty.
It was perfect. He's like, I can read all the papers in around me, and it's my time to shine. And I guess I have a little bit of a weakness, not being able to read all the papers. It's like, Jesus Christ.
I don't honestly. It was funny because the Hootie and the Blowfish stereo dude actually could mess people up, and he showed it when he just puts it on like supersonic and blows people up. Now he's obviously like hilariously just like. It's ridiculous. So I don't know if I actually,
wonder.
yeah, I don't know if I would actually want to be him, but I wouldn't want to be the animal guy because we know that that's just hilarious that he turned into the animal's brain. Tit face, you don't want that. Ball
really.
guy, you definitely don't want that.
You don't want to be aqua.
The water, that was hilarious.
The bang kill Mary situation, tit face is the bang.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
absolutely. Yeah. Classic. But just going back to the Rick and Morty references, right before you hear Paper's voice, you see the lips of a character do that like Rick and Morty thing where they go downwards. And I was like, huh. And then all of a sudden you hear the voice. I was like, nice. I love that shit. I love the little call outs.
It was perfect. Definitely cracks me up, and it might be my favorite, but I think because the other episodes have like actual storyline connections, not just this nonsense. I think it's like top 3, but not.
It definitely made me laugh the most. I was upset top 3 as well. Yeah.
I was upset I couldn't watch it with you guys and laugh out loud. That's how funny it
would have been. It would have been even better that way. Honestly, all of us could have just like got drunk.
Yeah, we have 4 other Bingetown homies that can watch with us. So
yeah, maybe we'll take their reactions.
To finish this one off, to reiterate, like the boys' lore and universe is so good and vast. Like they could do 1,000 spinoffs and it would all be interesting. Mm-hmm. And the writers are so good for this show. You can literally just live in this universe. It could be like Marvel universe or something like that. It has so much potential.
Mm-hmm. The VCU, man, the Vault Cinematic Universe.
Yeah.
And it actually, to go into, the actual show, when Starlight finds out what happens and she gets pissed at her mom, now you're like, okay, now I understand. You could have gotten one of these kids and you risk it because you want it to be rich and be in the spotlight.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
I was so glad that the ghost killed her dad.
Right.
Slowly, you just saw everything.
The slow guy. Oh my god, I forgot about him.
Oh yeah.
I wouldn't want to be the slow guy.
I'm killing you.
I definitely wouldn't want to be slow guy. I might have to go with Hootie and the Blowfish guy, man.
Dude, the fact that he's murdering everybody, the Hootie and the Blowfish, is so funny. But moving on to 3, right? Mm-hmm. I'm your pusher. This was definitely my fave. Like you said, Jimmy, there was a point where I was like, oh, this doesn't really line up because they called him the Homelander when they introduced him. And they don't really do that anymore. We got the one in episode 8 where Mallory tells him to, drop the. So it's funny that they actually keep it. And just relating the superheroes to what drugs they need and what they want, I thought was incredible.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Homelander gets coke with adrenaline. Queen Maeve gets her happy pills. I assume that's just like Xanax, a bunch of Xanax.
Yeah.
They train in the deep, get like drugs with like a shark on the baggie. It was hysterical. Ironcast, I think that's his name, right? Whatever.
The big dude.
The big old. Yeah.
He drinks children's blood. I was like, oh my god.
Diseased, dying children's blood.
Oh
I love this show.
Yeah, ridiculous.
And the main guy who we came here for is the Great Wide Wonder. Is that what they called him?
Yeah.
It took me, I rewinded it. I still couldn't hear it because everyone's cheering or like he's blasting off when or landing when he says the wide of it all. And I think later they did. I was like, are they saying white?
Yeah, later Homelander says, why is his name Wide? Like, what does he do? And then I think Maeve is like, oh, he goes so fast around the world, the wide world or something. And then I was like, oh, that's what his name is. Okay.
And his thing was heroin enemas. And my God.
Yeah, my gosh.
I can only imagine what that was like.
They're just throwing words up on the wall. They're like, what could be fucking funny?
Yeah.
Sticking heroin up your ass? Sure. Yeah, it's good. And Billy fucking.
We get Terror Plenty. We get him in all the opening credits. And they give him some balls, dude. They don't hold back from anything in this. Like,
I loved it.
Just the typical like animated tropes that usually aren't there. They just do whatever the hell they want. Terror comes in with our boy.
I mean, this was perfect. As soon as you saw the Terror, and then you were like, you just know Billy Butcher's gonna walk in the corner, and of course, he was perfect swagger as normal. But what you're saying, I loved how the intros of Terror were just all different. I love unique intros. Like that's why I love Broad Cities. 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Yeah, so like so different every time. I love it.
Were you trying to catch any Easter eggs in the opening thing with Terror? Because I noticed the bullseye that was broken from the baby on Baby's Day Out, and then there was like random stuff all over. But I was trying to stick it to each episode, but I was having trouble. And
yeah, I honestly thought they were just sponsored by Target because I saw that too. And I was like, oh, okay.
Well, the dog was like humping Groundhog and Nubian versus Nubian, and stuff like that. Is that what you mean, or do you mean like
the
magicians on
like
the wall?
Like there's there was like a duck helmet face thing in the corner. Just certain things like that I didn't know if it was like supposed to homage to certain episodes or not.
Yeah,
I'm sure there's going to be plenty of like little Easter eggs coming out.
Oh yeah, I mean, again, we're doing an instant reaction on purpose. I mean, if we want to deep dive, we will, but this doesn't seem like a major deep dive kind of show. So
right. We'll get into this more in episode 8. I know they're not like continuity, but this is just this episode is an amazing example of how like these people are trained to just divert. Like Queen Maeve knew exactly what to do when this guy went absolutely fucking nuts and like coked out of his mind and just like ruined everything, killed a bunch of people, and they were like, fuck. Just, like, they're so used to it reminded one of my favorite scenes of The Boys, which is like so devastating, is the plane scene, right? Where Maeve is like, fuck no, like I don't know, we could save some people, and Homelander's like, no bitch, everyone dies. kids, women, everyone, they're all dead.
And then he flips that at the end, like he kind of flips that situation as they're all looking over the airplane wreckage too, like, oh, we could have saved them. And it's cool to see how everybody in the 7 like does that in their own way. Like Queen Maeve right here, she was like, oh look, there's a ship, and one random fucking dude in the crowd was like, oh my god, I see it too, now that you mention
it. Yeah.
I was like, no wonder they're like not suspicious at all, because people are idiots. But I loved it. I thought the animation was great. The end climax was great. Just classic, like reminded me of the boat going through the whale. Like they did not shy away from anything with a great wide wonder going right through Ironcast or whatever.
I don't know what's more ridiculous and more disgusting, like the animated version or the actual version, just because animated they go more crazy because they know they can. So I mean, I was actually shocked a few times, and I was like, "Whoa, okay."
It was a little like the one I think of is literally Ghost Girl slowly killing her dad through the cheek, cutting off her tongue.
Yeah.
But I loved it though.
No, it's their budget for disgusting is high in real life. Like the whale scene, another top scene.
Yeah,
oh my
god,
they
love it.
So fucking good.
They're
the
like,
gore
keep it
is
coming.
Amazing. Yeah. All right,
episode
next.
4.
Speaking of Broad City, so Boyd in 3D is written by Elliot and Alana Glazer, and Alana wrote, created, starred in Broad City. She's one of my favorites. I don't think she voiced anything in this, but Elliot Glazer, I'm pretty sure, is the Boyd. So I loved it, and it's classic. Like I think this could have been like a Broad City episode. I loved it. It's just their humor.
And honestly, I was kind of getting the message of like what social media would be like if superheroes were real. And I know they weren't technically superheroes, but they were using like thought products and were becoming like icons in the eye of the public. But that's totally what would happen if you could just change your appearance.
There's plenty of people that would risk whatever the side effects are to change their appearance like that. And it's definitely a message. There was a lot of funny parts to it. some graphicness to it that I wasn't expecting. It's funny we see booby face in episode 2, but I wasn't expecting anything in episode 4 like we got either.
Cat titties.
Yeah.
Cat titties.
Yeah, that was funny. She was just like rebelling and like taking her top off just for the social media clicks and everything. But I was cracking up when she initially, we see her as a cat because that was her ideal body because of
she
Snapchat.
kept taking the pic with the filter.
Because of the damn filters. That was so funny.
But I mean, it's a typical story where the guy thinks she's a nerd and she thinks she's ugly, and he actually likes the freckles on her face, and she gets rid of them, and then they turn back. But then it's funny because what was this ending supposed to actually be? Like, was this supposed to be that this never happened and he was on the chair the whole time, or was it that they gave him too much eventually and he had the bad side effects? I couldn't really figure out what they were trying to say at the very end.
Yeah, I could see that kind of being up in the air. Like, he imagined this whole episode in his head and he just exploded right away. But
I took it as he later got fucked up from it.
From the side effects.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, either way is fine with me, yeah.
Because they said, like, best to wait in between uses, and he was just going
and he was just popping off, yeah.
And yeah, I thought he imagined the last scene of him kissing his neighbor Cherry. Like, I figured when they were back to normal, he just made that up in his head.
Right.
And really, he looked like this, like, bag.
Oh, so you're saying he looked awful right when it was over. Yeah. Okay.
And then exploded, but.
Well, that's so fucking evil. It's insane.
It's so funny,
bad.
though. It's so funny.
I know.
Like, oh, we have money. We can cover up anything. And, like, the best part, too, was the doctor who I cannot remember I can't remember his voice actor's name. It was one of the Eternals. But at the end, when the dude's head pops off, he literally gets out his phone, just like takes a picture and like sends it. Like, everybody's so desensitized and so evil. They just don't care.
Command Nanjiani.
Yes, that's exactly what I meant.
Yeah, Silicon Valley. Yeah, he's hot now. He's wrapped as shit.
He's a good old dude.
Good old dude.
Yeah,
that's all I had for 4.
Yeah, let's move on to episode 5, BFFs, written by Awkwafina. Obviously, the main character is her voice. She's so notable. I laughed at parts, but I thought this one was weird. That was my opinion.
So weird. She just lets out that initial fart after she takes the compound V, and then immediately I knew what was happening. I was like, tell me you just created a turd best friend. And of course, she even has the eye of the marble that she ate when she was like 3 years old, and the fucking piece of corn. I was like, why would you?
The little tail thing in the back. Like, listen, I'm not saying that the episode in general was like bad or anything. It was just hard for me to see a piece of shit and and be fine. Like, it was just weirding me out. Like, it was just weird to me.
You can look at Kathleen. She's just dying.
I was actually dying at the part where she's like, can I name you Giorgio's my mother's name? It always makes me happy. And then she's like, wow, yeah, no, can you call me Areola? Like, I think Georgia sounds like shit.
Yeah, so funny.
I laughed out loud at that part. I'm like, it's just so like, she's probably cracking up writing it. But yeah, it was so weird. And I'm not like a potty humor type of gal, but I thought this was funny. I mean, it felt like a different type of power than everyone else's, being able to like control outer things other than like from within, having a power like laser, flying. It's like, I can control the shit anywhere around here. Which is weird and
that's not a saying, controlling the shit anywhere. It's actually controlling
the shit.
Do we have any like comparisons of any other?
I guess Starlight
can control. Yeah, I was gonna say that.
Well, let's talk about really quick. This actually does give us some of the most information out of the 8 episodes, and that information is that you don't die from drinking Compound V. Now,
that's what you were getting?
Yeah, that's what was
I always
yours?
Thought you were talking about the deep, and he was like, this is how I'm getting back into the 7.
Oh, yeah, well, that's true too. Yeah, so this is actually supposed to be, I guess, after season 2, or at least around season 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
When he's out. But yeah, no, I'm saying, there's parts and in the first 2 seasons where people are wondering what happens if you try to inject or take it after you're already an adult. It's whether, you don't know if you're going to die, you don't know what the deal is, or you don't know if you're going to get powers. She drinks it, and we don't ever see someone drink it in the first 2 seasons. And do we see an adult take it?
I want to say no.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the underlying question for
Can adults take it? Yeah.
Yeah, like
we've only heard the line. It's too like
unpredictable.
radical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like obviously
adults.
Kimiko, she's technically an adult who took it, right?
I think
she was like
yeah.
younger. Technically, she was like in her teens probably when she first got injected.
Yeah, but I mean,
I agree.
The point is it's like a baby that you're supposed to do it. But whatever. I mean, but the deal is now we know that there's other ways to take it, and you can take it as an adult, and you can stay alive. So that'll probably be something that comes up in future seasons.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just thought the punchline, I thought it was weird in the beginning, but once you got the punchline of you can control shit, and just the Deep saying this is the most fucked up thing I've ever seen.
I mean,
and then the turds coming in, the one throwing the butt plug like it was a kunai knife and hitting them right in the eye. I was like, this is actually kind of golden.
Yeah, I the scenes from the sewer on, I was pretty much laughing a good amount. Like the Deep, he was doing very well with the comedy too. The drug dealer throughout the episode was making me laugh. Like there was definitely good parts in this episode. It was just the potty humor, it just doesn't do it for me. Just like you said, Kathleen.
Yeah. One thing I did like was in the beginning, her friends were like peer pressuring her and yelling at her on the corner, saying like, "Oh, if you weren't with us, you'd probably be back home playing Mancala by yourself." The end of the episode, she's playing Mancala with Ariola at the end. So
love that.
Yeah.
But that's all I had.
Yeah. It was good to see the Deep.
And obviously the animation style was cool.
With Aquafina,
now you can go.
How to add scenes with the Deep, because a lot of the other ones, like Alana and them, didn't have a main character within their episodes. So I was just wondering how, like, okay, she wrote this. How, like, you think like it has to have the continuity, it has to be like accurate. I wonder if she had to like get that stuff from somebody else, collab with somebody else on that.
Yeah, because
I'm sure it was really fun.
Yeah, most of them are, like you said, just Homelander coming to clean up the mess or something like that. That's easy. You just throw that in. But the Deep having to be a part of it and talk about coming back in the 7, they probably just let her write whatever she wanted. Then we'll add the line, "I need to do this to come back in the 7," and then we're good.
Pretty much.
His rant in the sewer, like him being like classic, the Deep, stupid. He's like getting distracted by himself, talking about like global warming or whatever the fuck, the water, whatever the fuck he was talking about. Sewers, I kind of zoned out. Was classic. It was so good. It was spot on.
All right, now we got episode 6, Nubian versus Nubian. This is the one written by Aisha Tyler. This is another good one.
Was that Don Cheadle?
Yeah.
Yep.
It had to be. It was so good.
Aisha Tyler was her, obviously.
Yeah. It was great. I loved how they kind of shot this first scene, and they animated it, and we didn't know that it wasn't like completely staged. Like we thought it was kind of real, and then later on, they're like, "Dude," or like, "What are you kidding? Vought set that entire thing up."
Exactly.
I don't even have an accent. Like that's what he was saying.
Yeah.
I liked it though. I thought it was a good action scenes. It reminded me of Invincible, if I'm honest.
Yeah. The fight scenes were great and throughout this whole entire season.
Yeah, this one had a good like story arc. It was the little girl trying to get her parents back together, but I also love like a story about a grouchy old man and a kid who like earns their like love. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm not a pedo. I don't even have fingers. Was a incredible line. Like I was actually laughing out loud at that line.
And she's like, "Oh, I'll open your soda cans for you whenever you want." He's like, "That's worse. That's worse."
That's so good. I have Don Cheadle's balls are named Martin Luther King and Malcolm X.
Yeah.
I thought that was hysterical. And they also did give a little shout out to Ashley. Like he was like, "Oh, like Ashley just sent me the media reports. Like we look good." So I thought that was funny.
Yeah. That's cool. And I have to give a little shout to the line where he's yelling at Aisha Tyler's character, and he's like, "I don't want you to have the whatever the vehicle thing is. I don't want you finger popping assholes and I just lost it because I haven't heard that since 21 Jump Street, and that line killed me in 21 Jump Street. So I heard that and it was just doing it for me.
That was good.
Finger popping each other's assholes.
And the end line when
Yes.
the girl is like, and I just want you guys to know, and I'm looking at both your trifling asses.
Yeah.
I want that motherfucking pony.
We got them horses in the
Yeah.
bag. Another
then
great music.
Yep.
Old
Yep.
Town Road just starts
But-
playing.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
So good. A good one. A really good one. I enjoyed that one.
Agreed. All right, season 1, episode 7, John and Sun Hee. This one, it tells you in the description, get your tissues ready.
Yeah,
Get whatever.
It was definitely a change in tone, but
Yeah.
I did enjoy it. It was, a real, you could actually imagine this scenario happening. Like somebody's dying, you want to do something to save her.
Mhm,
Go and get, this magic chemical. And the fact that, was it her cancer?
It was the cancer, yeah.
That's what I figured it was. I didn't know it could confirm, but literally all the serum went to the cancer and just started like taking over. That part was wild.
Yeah, that was wild.
Sun Hee was wilding out, dude. When she got those powers.
It sucks because it's like this isn't so many stories, right? Like the selfishness of like a grieving loved one is like inflicting on the sick one things that the sick one doesn't want, right? It's like it's even like a classic like cancer situation where it's like this person is like fought, and then you just still want them to do like chemo and this and that, and it's just like sucking their soul, and they just want to like live out the rest of their days without suffering, like things like that. And this is just that times 1,000. And I can't imagine like being almost dying, probably coming to terms with dying, and then someone just fucking stabs you with compound V, and you're like, all right, here we go.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was sad. It was
sad.
It
Andy
was.
Samberg, man. The one person you're not expecting to give you a sad story, Andy Samberg.
Yeah. Yeah, he has a couple Brooklyn Nine-Nine episodes like that too.
Yeah.
Where like you go and laughing,
That's
but it
true.
like ends up being a serious tone. But I just loved Granny Sun Hee at the end. She looks like Goku just phasing with it.
Really, she does.
His background.
With
like
the teleporting Kamehameha.
going right towards the enemy, sacrificing herself.
Yep,
It was,
loved
I
it.
was like, this is so anime. Andy Samberg loves anime, and I can tell just from this episode.
Mhm.
What's the different types of anime? Because this and the Aquafina episode are visually very different, but both like obviously register as animes. Like compare an anime to each of them, like a popular anime.
So like Seven Deadly Sins, that's kind of goofier animation. That's more like the BFF ones. And then you have, like I would say One Piece is more goofy too, the animation style.
Full Metal Brotherhood over even Full Metal Alchemist versus Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Like Brotherhood has like those random animations where they get goofy and
like the gag panels and stuff.
Yeah.
Bleach would be like a real life one, but they have like their own gag panels, but it's like more, I say real life when they're talking about super, but the animation drawing is more realistic.
Yeah.
It's funny though, because you can get a goofy one and you're still bawling your eyes out on Sunday alone in your room.
All right, season 1, episode 8, 1 + 1 = 2. This one gives us the first day of Homelander showing up to work, which was pretty cool to see. The freaking noob guy doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah, we kind of got a little bit of it in season 2 when he's talking to his son. Homelander tells him, the first time I got introduced, there was 1 million people. I never went out in public, really. All these flashing lights, I kind of freaked out, and all I did was fly and get out of there.
Yeah.
So it was cool. We actually kind of did get to see that actual moment. And we also got the flashes of like psychosis from Homelander's childhood.
That was cool. Yeah.
And I was like, no wonder this dude is how he is. I mean, we've seen it. We already know he has like these horrible issues, but we see some of the actual events, like them putting his hand in an oven or a fire just to see what he could withstand. And then on top of that, you have Mallory just warping his mind, and kind of, even when he's grown now, like he's part of Vought and part of the Seven, she's still warping him and like kind of controlling him to do her bidding, even though he's like kind of good.
Yeah, in the beginning, he is having his freakouts, but he's still trying to do good, and he just the reactions and not being ready for the situation and not being able to control his powers are what make him what he is. But then obviously Black Noir giving him writing the note and showing him what he needs to say and do moving forward. This is the beginning of the end for Homelander.
Yeah, I mean, Homelander is the way he is in like a nurture situation, right? Like his whole childhood was so fucked up, and who knows what he would have been like if he just had a normal childhood. But Homelander's the worst. So seeing him be flustered and be like such a novice at it, and then being genuinely like fucking freaked out when he just like kept accidentally like ripping people's jaws out and like doing these, like he's like he doesn't know what to do. It's
he
kind
didn't
of
know
like
the gun would
Andrew
blow up.
Garfield Spider-Man when he's just like, you know what I mean? He's like sticking to everyone and everything, and he doesn't know what to do. It's times 10, obviously.
Yeah,
times
I
1,000.
loved it. I loved it. I had like exactly what you had. A timid Homelander is just crazy to watch.
Yeah.
Because they have his whole introduction. He's on stage. Black Noir comes out, and we get Mallory just being pissed off, saying he should be pissed off too. And he's like, "Well, if Mr. Edgar thinks this is the best thing to do," and I was like, "You really? You would never say that where you are now."
You mean Madeline?
Do I keep saying Mallory?
Yeah. Who's Mallory?
Yeah, no, I gotta look it up.
Madeline's one of my favorites. She's just like fucking pure evil, and she's great. Pure bad.
It's Madeline, dude.
It is.
That's fine.
I was getting the.
We'll fix that.
I've done that
I'll just have you go.
I think the double L's in Stillwell for Madeline Stillwell was just
maybe.
Do me a favor right now, Paul, and say Madeline a few times, and I'll use that and cut it in.
Madeline.
Yeah, Madeline.
All right, you got some options.
Keep all that.
Did we know that Black Noir was the leader of the Seven before Homelander? I can't remember if we were told that.
No, honestly, because in season 1, one of the best scenes when Homelander walks in, and he's ripping everybody apart. Yeah, and he goes to Black. Not you, Black Noir. You're killing it.
Yeah,
that seems like the hierarchy.
Can you imagine Black Noir being the leader and he can't speak or he doesn't speak? Hilarious. Yeah, hilarious. All right, guys, that's 8 episodes. Knocked it out. Phenomenal first season. I loved it. Yeah.
We got random episodes of controlling shit, and then now deep episodes where Black Noir's relationship with Homelander might actually come into play. Season 3. I enjoyed it a lot, and Kathleen nailed it. It was just enough to hold you over just until season 3.
Top of your head, what do you do? Go. Favorite episode out of the 8.
I liked episode 8.
Okay. Paul?
I mean, I love the Homelander stuff. It felt canon. It felt very like, I love the other ones. They're funny, but this one felt like I was watching The Boys.
Yeah, I'll probably have to do I'm Your Pusher, but the first one I thought of was an animated short where Supes killed their parents.
I actually will say that one probably. I didn't laugh as much in the other episodes. 2 made me laugh for an entire season, so I'm fine with it, but I don't remember laughing too much in many of the other episodes, not as much, definitely not as much as episode 2. I'm going to go with episode 2 as my favorite.
Yeah, but I think what Kathleen said is the best part of this whole Diabolical series is just the world building.
Oh, yeah.
We only have so much time on screen for the show, and they have to, get at what they need in there. We don't have enough time to see this stuff, and this is just gold. So this is a great idea for them to make these, and I hope they continue making them.
100%.
Do we still have that boys like college or schooling?
That's coming.
Spinoff coming. What's that called?
The Boys University, I think maybe.
The Boys Nick and Mile.
Yeah. American Pie presents The Boys.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I think I made it up, but I'm pretty sure it's The Boys University, but I'm not positive.
That's going to be amazing. I'll take anything out of this universe. Honestly, for me, these 12-minute episodes were perfect. If they were 30 each, it probably would have taken me a few sittings to get through them. But being 12 was absolutely perfect for me. Some of them I wish they were longer, like the number 8. Other ones I'm like, I'm totally good with 12 minutes.
Yeah.
I think it was perfect, and I'm sure that a lot of these people did like these very talented writers and stuff haven't had a chance to dip their toes in animation. It's just not like I don't know that people cross that genre that often.
Right.
So I'm sure. I mean, the writers, the cast, everything is incredible. I'm sure they just had a fucking blast making this and like collaborating on this. So happy for them. Really happy for
Amazon
them.
Prime's doing it with the animation. We have The Boys, Diabolical, and we have Invincible. Like, come on. And then we have
Vox Machina.
Yeah, there you go. Hit it up for me. And I heard that's really good too. Have not seen it, but I heard it's good.
Yeah.
All right, guys, that's going to do it for us today. The Boys, Diabolical, season 1. So that hopefully means that we are going to have more seasons, which we definitely will. Just like Invincible, just like Marvel's What If. The animation style, the way that you can spit these out, you got to do it for us. Keep going. Please like and subscribe this video and our channel. We cover a lot of other stuff on YouTube, guys. Wheel of Time, The Witcher. We're going to start throwing our podcast audio on here too, but a lot of the new shows we are going to start having videos for. We did instant reactions and deep dives for Wheel of Time, deep dives for The Witchers. They're all really fun time. We already post portions of some of our celebrity interviews. Some of them you get the full thing. We have the Wheel of Time cast fully on there. We have Letterkenny with Kathleen's girl, Melanie Scrofano. She had a great time on that. That entire interview is up. Pieces will be on the YouTube channel, some of the best parts, but we will save a lot of them for our Patreon. And while I'm talking about it, guys, please check out our Patreon. We have 2 tiers. Tier 1, if you want to support the pod, just throw us a couple dollars to keep the lights on. We really appreciate it. Tier 2, $5 a month, all of our exclusive content, exclusive podcast episodes, exclusive video interviews of the celebrities unedited, plus a lot more. We're going to really be pushing our Patreon with its additional content starting very, very soon. So check that out. Check that out at patreon.com/BingetownTV. Check us out also at BingetownTV.com, Bingetown, Twitter, Instagram, Lego. Once again, we are Bingetown TV. And thank you so much for listening.
And go listen to our boys coverage on Spotify and the Apple Podcast app and anywhere else you listen to your damn podcast.